Okay, peace. Back to you again from the A1 podcast. This is your brother Tariq. Now, back again, on this journey, on this road we call life. Now, trying to build a better tomorrow. You understand? Together. We don't have all the answers, but, we hope to find them together in this wilderness we call North America, right? So, with that being said, um, it's been a very interesting couple days since I last spoke to you guys, right? um, I think I talked to you guys last time. We're still working on our intro, trying to select the right track for you guys and figure out how to upload it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the most technical savvy guy in the world. I do alright, but it still could do better. And we're still working on that merch for you guys. You know what I'm saying? We're definitely going to start wearing different shirts every time I come on promote one of our brands. You know what I'm saying? And copyright it and all that. But like I said, since the last time I spoke to you guys, a lot's been going on. So one of the illest things in my mind that has went on since the last time I spoke to you guys was there was a controversy about Rachel Nichols, right? And I'm pretty sure everybody is not a big, huge sports fan like some of us. NBA, NFL, hockey, baseball, whatever your poison is, right? Tennis, you know what I mean? Um, Rachel Nichols is a ESPN analyst that's been around for over 10 years, right? Seemed like she seems pretty unassuming, right? But if you ever pay attention to her, she pretty much tries to box guys or people in whenever they're talking about different topics, right? She tries to paint pictures as she'll make a guy like Kareem Hunt look like the scourge of the earth, but never speak about the guy from the Indianapolis Colts, Wheeler, right? Um, she'll try to make it seem like some. She'll try to make it seem like Kobe Bryant is Ben Roethlisberger, right? So with that being said, she got caught on what's called known as a hot mic, where she was speaking recently and didn't know that she was being recorded, right? So with that being said, she was talking about the lady. I want to say her name is Maria Taylor. I know her last name's Taylor, but she was jealous of old girl because she got to cover the NBA Finals, and she did. And so she tried to pretty much, basically, like any you know, quote unquote Caucasian, aka white supremacist, does in this wilderness called North America, right? They go ahead and they try to claim worse reverse racism. Now, the funniest part about it is that Ms. Taylor actually played basketball at a very high level. So, who would be more qualified to know the ins and outs of the sport of basketball but someone who played it? You're not gonna, it's cool to have a casual fan talking, you know, here and there, but it's just not the same as somebody who played it. The feeling, the emotions that people go through because you've been in those situations. You know what I'm saying? So you can articulate it better to the casual fan who doesn't know what those emotions are like, right? You can articulate it when you're talking to a player, what you see versus what, they actually felt happen or, what was actually going through their mind. So all in all, she got a little slap on the wrist, but she's still on the air, right? And people were crying foul. Excuse me. People were crying foul, right? But the illest part about it is how many of us broke code on that, right? Steven Jackson's all over the damn place. You know what I mean? With his, but at the same time, shout out to Tariq Nasheed, they would call that as being buck broken. They would say he's buck broken because, ESPN pays him. So, last year he was all Black Lives Matter and this and all that got to stop, but this year you know, as an original man, he comes out and speaks in support of Rachel Nichols. You know what I mean? Acting like, oh, she can't be racist, right? But it couldn't be further from the truth. You know what I mean? Uh, Caucasian women are the number one threat to us as a group, especially us as men, right? Second, what's up with all the sisters? I don't hear y'all talking about feminism now. You feel what I'm saying? Because brothers like myself been telling y'all that, y'all got on cold with these women back during, women's so-called suffrage, and y'all was trying to get all these rights, you know what I'm saying? Like we were oppressing you, and anytime you turn around, it's our fault what's going on in the world with you guys, and y'all want to hang with Becky, but at the end of the day, Becky only use you when she needs you. So when shit's going right for Becky, she don't need you. You just you another ghetto monkey. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, Becky will sleep with your dude if she get a chance. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But everybody else is the problem in the situation, my sister, except for you, because we know, there's some cool, Caucasian cats out there, but we've been taught since we come on this plane of existence, called life or whatever, right? The physical plane, right? That you can't trust, a Caucasian, i.e. a white man, farther than you could throw him. So, we could be cool right now, but 5 minutes later, it could be all fuck me and this, that, and third, really, just throw me under the bus. Because it happens time and time again. So this is a tried and true experience for all of us, you know what I'm saying, as indigenous, Asiatic, original, Moorishmen, whatever, however you want to slice it. This is our existence. And we keep telling y'all to stop taking that Hillary Clinton, I got hot sauce in my bag approach to dealing with us. Because she'd tell you to divorce me, but at the same time, she stayed with Bill. So I just wanted to know, how do y'all feel, when it's being rubbed right in your face? I don't hear the Lonnie Loves and nobody talking about that. I don't hear the views and nobody talking about that. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to talk about that because they have to stay on code with Massa, if they want to get paid. Keep getting paid, you know what I mean? So, it's a double-edged sword for you guys. And when I say you guys, I mean you sisters, you ladies. Do you look up to these females like Oprah, who will never say nothing about a situation like this, but to try to drive a knife in Russell Simmons' back and call him a friend at the same time? Do you look at it like Gayle King? She'll talk about a recently deceased Kobe, but won't say nothing about a Harvey Weinstein? Or do you just go ahead and just keep riding with them and say, it's feminism, we have our problems, but you men are the problem? No, sister, your blindness is the problem. You being attacked every which way, you know what I'm saying? I think it was Sandra Bland, you know what I'm saying? Before, what's my girl name out in Louisville, Kentucky? Breonna Taylor. So before there was a Breonna Taylor, there was a Sandra Bland. This shit has been going on. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nobody hopping out to save you and ride with you but us. But at the same time, it's almost like, some of us are feeling like kick dogs because every time we turn around, we getting kicked. You know what I mean? And so I just want to know, it's more of a observation and a question to my sisters in the community. How y'all feel about that? What y'all think? What y'all gonna do about that? Because at the end of the day, feminism, all it did was destroy our family unit. And we kept telling you this for a minute, you know what I mean? And so, the illest part is the reports about old girl Rachel Nichols coming out. Last year, she was covering the finals, right? What they say, your man Jimmy Butler was knocking her down in the bubble. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, how do y'all really feel about that? Like, I would love to get one of you sisters up here to talk about it because y'all got some answering to do, man. Y'all been sticking up for this shit for too long. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with you being independent and successful, but y'all got to stop falling on the sword for feminism. Y'all the only ones who believe in that shit. You know what I mean? They believe in whatever gets them ahead. You believe in a lie that was told to you by a CIA agent in the 60s and the 50s. So I'm gonna leave that right there. You know what I mean? Because to keep going is just more low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of fellas in the manosphere that make livings out of eating y'all up on this shit all day. But I mean, I'm saying if we gotta if I think as brothers we need to hold ourselves accountable for the shit that we do, I think y'all need to start holding yourselves accountable for the shit that y'all doing or not doing, especially when it comes to on the female front. You know what I mean? But I digress. We gonna move on. It was something else that struck me today. You know, outside of these tech guys buying up all the fucking farmland in America, this wilderness, right? You know, there's been a problem with the farming industry for the past 10 years, right? They, increasingly we're importing more food from places like China who don't have the same regulations, and even though our regulations here are extremely lax compared to other European ran nations, right? China don't give a fuck. They got 1.4 billion people. They just give you whatever. You know what I'm saying? And we've been getting more and more of our food from these foreign countries. And people would say, well, we don't have nobody want to be farmers. No, what it is farmers are, farmers have been under attack. One, between how the tariffs are so low for them to bring in these goods from other countries. Two, the government picks, when they want to bail somebody out. You know what I'm saying? And they when they bail you out, then they might force you, instead of having organic seeds, now you got to use GMO. You know what I mean? And then they pick and choose what they're gonna buy from you, basically knowing that the weather was bad and they bankrupt your farm and take your land, sell it to a billionaire. But the illest part about this was I read today in Business Insider, right, that racism showed its head with the grants, the federal grants for farmers. Caucasian farmers didn't believe indigenous farmers should get the federal, what does it say, the federal relief, grants that was going to struggling farms. They blocked it. This was in today's Business Insider. I kid you not. You see what I'm saying? And if you think it's, like how Prodigy say, it's war going on outside, no man is safe from. You could run, but you can't hide from ever, because this shit is going on. You know what I'm saying? Now you hear about that shit over there, with just being a news reporter, but this is our food. We lack the infrastructure to have our own grocery stores in our own neighborhoods, right? There is so many different things going on that keeps our the areas which we reside in from being neighborhoods and becoming just hoods. Is systematic, and we keep telling you this, and I say we because it's other people out there putting out videos. Tariq Nasheed, even if you don't agree with him, a lot of times he's a little out there from time to time, polite. Another one out there time to time, Umar. But you know what I'm saying? It's people out there that's telling you these things. You know what I mean? And it's more people out there, so on and so on. Professor James Smalls and the great, rest her soul, Queen Mother, Dr. Crest, right? So I mean, and whether you believe in Farrakhan or whatever, even he talked about it. It's been going on far too long, right? For us not to just sit there and understand. People be like, well, that shit depressing. I don't want to think about it no more. Yeah, you want to watch reality TV, some scripted bullshit. At the same time, they giving you plant-based food. Not understanding that plant-based food, meaning that like 5% or whatever percent has to be like some type of plant-based. And they're not even telling you what it is. It could be like the glucose or some type of gum or whatever. But That's like 5 to 15% of what you're actually eating. So what the hell is everything else that you eat? You know what I'm saying? It's some genetically modified bullshit that's not giving your body the proper nutrients that it needs. And then you're looking like, well, what the hell can we do? Well, what the hell we can do is pay attention to shit like this, right? And at the same time, we have to keep building our own networks and infrastructures because this having your own food is very important. That's why I recently started. I like to go to those little. They have these like fresh produce stands. You know what I mean? Well, I reside in the South now, so but even up north they have because whether you want to believe it or not, looking at all these mega cities, America's mostly farmland. You feel me? No matter where you're at, I don't give a damn if it's north, south, east, or west. It's mostly farmland. And so if you buy from your local farmers, one, right, it keeps them going and it keeps you going, right? And whenever you build commerce within your own community, it's always a positive thing because now y'all able to cut each other slack and trade goods and services, right? But the illest part is all of us need food to survive. So we have people that still do that by that I mean that grow produce and food and things of that nature for us, but they're being ransacked by the government. And the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, and all them other little hate groups are definitely taking them out. While we're sitting here fighting over feminism, and do we love our mothers and our daughters and our sisters better, but it don't pay attention or not because you're coming outside like it's over, but keep it a bean, we was coming outside while the shit was going on. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, all you people who took the jab, they keep saying like they always saying there's a new one out there worse than the last one. You feel what I'm saying? And I recently came across some information on that. That's in the court system right now. But I think I want to do a little bit more research before I go ahead and drop the bomb on you like that. You know what I mean? Because some of y'all are easily scared, and the rest of y'all is just non-believers. If you're a non-believer in all this fact that's going on out here in the information age, shit, I don't know what to tell you. Shit, I don't even know why you're on my page in the first place. You know what I mean? I don't know why you deal with people like myself because basically all you're gonna do is get frustrated, and you can sit there and try to say it's all bullshit and we're just making it all up. But then at the same time, a lot of the shit that we be saying end up happening, right? It may not always happen the way we think it's going to happen, but it end up happening. So that's also to say it was something that also caught my mind today because there's a sovereign country in the Western Hemisphere named Haiti. Now, Haiti is predominantly indigenous people, right? I.e., Asiatic, whatever, however you want to, Caribbean, however you want to slice it up, right? Now, I knew somehow, some way, that when this president was assassinated, somehow that it was going to tie back to the United States, right? But here's the illest part. Two non-military trained people came from Florida talking about they were going to arrest a sitting foreign president, right? And then they had 15 foreign soldiers from Colombia. This shit stinks. It stinks like a pig pen. You know what I'm saying? And everybody act like they don't know what's going on. It's like you have to understand. And yeah, shout out to Tariq Nasheed again. He did a documentary on the Haitian Revolution, right? Haiti was the only one of our nations or groups to successfully overthrow a European occupying force. And since then, the European powers that be have fought to destabilize and keep this do that was going to upset their plans. But I think y'all should pay close attention to that because more is going to come out on that, and I know I definitely will be paying close attention to my damn self. But it's so much with that going on that it leads me down rabbit holes on the internet. Uh, the first thing I came across, shout out to brother P, because he sent me some information to check out about the flooding of indigenous people towns. Right, Tulsa, Oklahoma was not the only one that was destroyed because it was prosperous. And this is what I kept telling you guys before, and I'm pretty sure other people kept telling you before. They talked about how these cities were. Well, excuse me. Let me backtrack a little bit. There's a sister named I want to say Amber Ruffin, and she was on John Oliver's show or whatever, but she got her own little segment or whatever, and she was talking about how all these towns were flooded to get rid of them, right? So when I told you guys before, when I said knowing yourself is knowing your own history, not what they teach you in school, because what they teach you in school is a bastardized version. They're teaching you what they want you to know. It's not his story, it's his story, right? So when they're teaching you that, they're not telling you that we had more people in Congress before. They're not telling you that we had more towns like owned predominantly with schools, hospitals, or whatever before. And when I say before, they shot and murdered all those people. She talks about another town where in Georgia, somewhere in South Georgia, where like a woman cried rape or two women cried rape, and they not only did they try, execute, and kill those two kids in one day, that they terrorized the town and killed everybody in it till there was nobody left in the town. Then they put a fucking lake over it. But then come to find out from her reporting is there's most of these lakes that you're boating in and fishing in, there used to be a town up under there. You feel what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it's like damn near any state you could think of has one. And we already knew, for those who listen to 90s hip hop, with Wu-Tang Clan and Old Dirty Bastard, and he used to talk about the white man brought Manhattan from my grandfather. You thought it was just some witty shit. It also talks about how they made Central Park by evicting the indigenous people that were in the community there. I didn't know that the Central Park Reservoir was also another community of indigenous people there. So they just flooded that and made a reservoir over it. But it goes on, so on and so on and so on, right? It keeps going on. And so the illest part is knowing this, right? Being armed with this information. It's a question to some of you guys. It's like being armed with the truth and continue to do the same bullshit every day is the definition of insanity, right? Because we're doing the same thing but expecting different results. If I just pray and believe without no action, no works myself, things going to change. No, it's not going to change. It's only getting worse. If you just understood what I said, and back when those towns were thriving, there were more senators. There were more of us making millions of dollars. There were more of us as business owners. We were doing better in this country back then. Even with Jim Crow. The worst thing that could have happened is, like Martin Luther King said, integration. Leading our people into a burning house. That doesn't mean you have to hate these people because they don't look like you, but at the same time, everybody else is practicing group economics. They are practicing being in a group. What it is we are so broken down that we cannot seem to we cannot focus, right? We cannot trust each other because we're in a hood, no longer a neighborhood, right? think about this. Half of you guys listening to this can't go to your next door neighbor and knock on the door and ask for some sugar or some milk. It's a whole beef. It's a whole problem. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be who the fuck is you? You know what I'm saying? Woo woo. Cause that's the condition that we live in. We live in a how they say it, a post traumatic stress syndrome constantly. You feel what I'm saying? Bullet. All you hear is gunshots. You know what I'm saying? You know, all you people worried about getting robbed, getting stabbed, and all that constantly. Because we're constantly being paranoid now. We live in a state of constant paranoia, whether it's from each other or from the race soldiers out there, the overseers, the slave catchers, right? Be that as it may. And it's ill because even when I don't try to tie all this shit together, it ties together on its own. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's all interconnected. I didn't think about Rachel Nichols and how those towns got destroyed, right? I didn't think about it. But at the same time, yeah, it was Caucasian women screaming a foul, right? Messing around with who? The original man. Whether she was doing it on purpose or it was a movie that came out not too long ago about a driver who was sleeping with his boss's wife, and when the boss came home a little early, first thing she did was scream out that he raped her. You know what I'm saying? Acting like she was in love with him. Woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? So of course he went to jail. But the husband beat her ass or whatever. And I think it was a true story because I think Thurgood Marshall actually got the dude off. You know what I'm saying? Got him from being killed. And if you don't know who Thurgood Marshall is, you need to find out because he is everything and was everything that your man Clarence Thomas is not. That's just my personal opinion, from what I studied on the man Clarence Thurgood Marshall and what. And yeah, that was directed at us. I'm talking about brothers because our brothers are staying in line for 2-3 days for a fucking pair of sneakers that the man who the sneakers is, you know what I mean? Yes, and I'm a little pissed off with that. Whatever, take issue about it when you see me. Um, but you know what I'm saying? I said that to say this. You know what I'm saying? Like we all, and at the same time, another thing that we need to start doing more of is when we're in a position of power, like in a position to hire somebody, we need to be looking to hire someone who looks like us. And that means not just another brother. If a sister's there and she's, qualified and she's looking for that position, put her ass in that position. And vice versa, sisters. Because a lot of time, from what I understand, and this is what I've been hearing recently through conversations, is that a sister get in a position and it's easily believable because you guys are quote unquote the most educated people on the planet right now, right? You guys have the most degrees. So if you're in a position to hire somebody you supposed to hire a brother. You know what I'm saying? If there's no sister there and that man come in, give a damn if you think he's a cornball. If his resume says he's good enough to have that job, you hire that motherfucker. And that's your job. You feel what I'm saying? And you know, you feel a problem with it, say something about it when you see it. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That is your job. It's my job to make sure that you're in a position to win, and it's your job to make sure I'm in a position to win. And there is no way that you can get around it. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep splitting hairs. Oh, our sons need this. Oh, our daughters need that. First of all, as a man, you might have a daughter. So you want the best for your daughter. You want her to have every fucking opportunity in the world. And the same thing goes for y'all sisters. There's no exception just because that's your son. You want your son to be able to have every opportunity in the world to be successful. So it takes us working together to create a more substantial neighborhoods instead of just hoods. And another thing is, you know what I'm saying, we gotta stop taking pride in the ignorance that goes on in our community. Like that's our culture. That's not our culture. Most of you guys don't have the foggiest of ideas what your culture is. You're letting somebody who looks nothing like you tell you what your culture and your history is. And, you know, I ain't even gonna hold you. You should be a little ashamed of yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because you know in your third eye, in your mind's eye, deep, you know, in your cerebral, that shit ain't right because it don't make sense. It don't even vibe with you, you know, on in your soul. It just don't sit right. You know, so I mean, we need to definitely get back into looking into ourselves. And half of it is you are what you eat too. So that's why it's ill that we started off talking about farmers because we eat, a lot of us eat terrible, man. You know what I'm saying? Like just eat terrible. You know, and it's a process. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie to you. I used to eat terrible, and slowly but surely, I've been getting to eat better. You know, every once in a while, you know, you might treat yourself to something terrible, you know, but you still gotta keep weaning yourself off and doing right because you are what you eat. You know what I mean? And it's been proven scientifically that you and your body perform better, you know, depending on what type of food you put in your body. So, you know, if you're eating a lot of trans fats, you know, like fried foods and, you know, chicken and fish or whatever, you know, you're going to be slower and sluggish and more, you know, ready to go to sleep or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's why you used to get the itis. But like, oh, that's the itis. That shit is not healthy. If any animal in the animal kingdom eats and goes right to sleep, it is fucking dead. You know what I'm saying? Sorry for using profanity on you guys, but that's just what happened. You cannot protect yourself if you sleep. So you should be able to eat something and keep moving. And I was listening to something earlier. It was talking about overeating is gluttonous, which it is. We sit down and eat 7 different times a day. You're not really supposed to eat but one big meal. You know what I'm saying? And I think Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote that back in the 60s or the 70s. No, probably in the 60s or 50s in the message to the black man. You know what I mean? But that's a good read. You should check that out. You know what I mean? If you get a chance. But it was ill too because I came across something else in the manosphere. Well, it wasn't in the manosphere. It was just on the internet, and it was this Caucasian male talking about woke culture, woke quote unquote woke culture, right? And that's the second or third time where I heard these guys talking about the woke culture. And who the hell was it? It was a actor or somebody famous talking about, yeah, the woke culture is the problem. I think I talked about it with the French president too, talking about the woke culture is the problem. First of all, there is no such thing as a woke culture. That is some shit that is trying to be hijacked and implanted in your mind from Caucasians. Woke is almost another way of trying to, quote unquote, trying to say conscious, right? In the conscious community, quote unquote, the woke community, all it means is that you're aware of your surroundings and what's going on. And each move that you make is understanding your environment and your surrounding, right? So if you understand that, yeah, you're conscious. They can't dumb you down and call you woke. You feel what I'm saying? And being conscious is not like doesn't mean you need all the big beads and amulets. Don't get it twisted. I enjoy my beads, and all that, but you don't need that. You see what I'm saying? Because I've been conscious since the '80s, since the first Malcolm X movie, the only Malcolm X movie. Before that even came out, right? That was just a thing to do back then. Wear cross colors and things like that. Promote HBCUs and things like that. And as you can see, it's a shift going back towards that. But if you pay attention, what happens is they tend to like the shift is going back towards HBCUs, but they will put somebody out there to dumb all that down with the goofiness. You feel what I'm saying? Like they'll put your favorite entertainer out there, and most of these entertainers don't give a damn. They out here for the bag. If you ain't noticed when I was talking about all those females on them shows who don't stick up and talk about, what's going on with that lady Rachel Nichols dissing that sister, Miss Taylor. So same thing with fucking Three Stacks. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker, he get out here and talk like he one of the ones because he from the town. Bro, you killed me with that. Like, I mean, you could have just spit in everybody's face when you went and hopped on her back. Oh, I know her. I don't give a fuck. If you felt that way, you should have shut the hell up and not said nothing. You don't diss no sister in front of everybody. You feel what I'm saying? That's what they call we don't talk like that in front of company. Give a fuck how cool old girl is, she's still company. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, you know what I mean? And there ain't no hate for dude, but that's like arguing with your distant cousin. Like, man, that's that fuck shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I ain't gonna hold y'all too late. You know what I'm saying? I might have to slide back up here later in the week. But it was just some things that was on my mind. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna cut this one a little short. And but I think we really need to understand the words that we use have power. Understanding what people are saying about you, the labels they're trying to put on you, and understanding yourself, meaning understanding your legacy as an indigenous person. You know what I mean? Understanding your history in this corporation called America. You know what I mean? We have to do the knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't just walk around here blinded in ignorance. You can't dumb yourself down. That shit is not cool. You feel me? Me and my homies was talking on the other day. You know what I mean? A wise man can always play a fool, but a fool can never play the part of a wise man. So which are you? You know what I mean? And no matter what you say, your actions always speak louder than words. And I got that one from my mother. You dig? So, you could tell me whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if the proof ain't in the pudding, it don't matter. So with that, I hope I leave you in a better place than I found you. Peace be on to you. You know what I mean? And on this journey called life, man, we forever growing, man. You feel me? Peace.